Hey everyone, it's Clary. So this afternoon I'm doing that British thing of having a cup of tea and a biscuit, and I thought I'd talk with you a bit about the ones that got away. And no, I'm not talking about my train wreck that was a romantic love life over the past decade, potentially. Oh, I'm so happy that I finally found my partner who's as weeb as me. I don't know what I'd do without him. Anyway, I'm talking more about figures. There have been many figures that I've missed, especially coming late to figure collecting for the massive price increases. Oh my god. Okay, but trying not to spend my whole video discussing my distress at the increasing prices in figures, I thought maybe I'd talk a bit about some of the ones that got away. Some figures that I was super excited for their pre-orders or for their art release, and for whatever reason I had to compromise, whether that be financially or to do with, you know, maybe not being sure about the figure. And yeah, as a result, I've either not put in a pre-order, maybe with the idea that I'll pick it up once it's released, or maybe I'm just like, no, the price is too high and I just can't make that commitment. First up, we have Okada Makoto from Fate Grand Order. He retailed for 23,800 yen. This is nearly like £155, and as much as I had really wished to have this figure, really looked forward to his release date, I'd watched his art, like his whole development, that price is ridiculous. Like, it's just too high. And like, for example, if I compare it to some of my other pre-orders, a figure that I have for a similar price is the Hatsune Miku Vocal Series 1 character. She's going for 24,700 yen, so she's only £10 more expensive. She's a 1/7 figure and she is a big lady with tons of detail, and I just couldn't justify making this pre-order. When I compared it to my Excel spreadsheet, I was just like, no, it just doesn't add up. I'll probably never have this figure, and I'm really upset because I'd even in my artboard like added him into one of my shelves, but the price is just too high and I can only see him increasing in the aftermarket, so I'll just have to skip on this one. Next up, we have Aqua Tope of White Sand. I loved this anime. I watched it and really enjoyed the figures. The kind of like the aquarium theme was just beautiful in terms of art style. So I was really looking forward to this figure being released. In fact, even before I even got my first figure, I saw the art release for this figure and I was really excited and really wanted it. There was one criticism I had. I really didn't like the metal structural bands that they'd put in the model. I just thought that they were very obvious, and I think that they could have done these as a clear perspex and it would have been a lot more subtle behind the bubbles. But you know, for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to look loads at the back. This figure was made by Fuzichoco, but it's going for 50,000 yen. I mean, you can get two figures for that price. It's just two good scale figures for that price. And even though I know it's two characters, the figure itself is only 240 millimeters tall. Like, they're small. They're not going to be big figures. So it's not like you're spending lots of money on like a showstopper piece in your shelf that's going to just take up one whole detail. No, they're too small for that. So I just was like, no. Next up, the figure by Methos that just came out in November 2021, and that is the Winter Begonia Shang Izuri. I think that's how you say his name. And it's the Izuri Peking opera piece. I think this piece is breathtaking. There is not a thing about this figure that I don't like. His box is beautiful, he is beautiful. I love that it came from something of like real cultural importance for China. So like the dress, the costume from the operatic theme is just stunning. And I would really love to add this figure to my collection. I don't think his price was crazy. He was going for 22,000 yen, £600 as a kind of market price rather than pre-order price, which seems completely reasonable for the massive scale of this figure and how intricate and delicate and beautiful it is. However, I just couldn't commit to the money at the time. I'd made a load of orders for other figures and it just wasn't gonna happen. So I might try and pick this one up in the aftermarket at some point. For now, I had to skip on this boy. Number 4 was Asuna from SAO. A figure was released of her by Good Smile Company. I don't think it's the most amazing figure in the world, but I just really liked it. I thought they did a really good job on Asuna's face, and that's kind of my biggest bugbear with a lot of the Asuna figures. There's quite a few E-Stream figures and they're just really expensive. So to actually have a nice figure of Asuna for kind of a reasonable price, she's going for 23,100 yen, which is about 150 pounds. I was like, I love this figure. Because I really like SEO. I'm basic, I love SEO, and and it has like kind of a really important place in my heart. I don't really have anywhere to display her, it just wasn't in the cards, this one. Maybe I'll get her in a year's time or something. Next up, I think this is probably a character that will forever be on this one but can't have, will always get away from me. And that is Kakiguriyu Yumako Jabami. I really love this figure, especially her crazy face. She came out a while ago. She retailed for, it was 13,200 yen, which is about 86 pounds. So she was really quite affordable when she hit the market. However, her price since then has completely skyrocketed. The reason why I don't want to buy this figure, there's a really convincing bootleg of this figure. And lots of people have been caught out by this. Like, honestly, I think the bootleg pretty much looks the same. There are small differences, but it's really hard to tell the difference between the two. And I think for the amount of money she's going for on the aftermarket, I just don't want to take the risk of buying a bootleg for maybe £300. I mean, maybe that's an exaggeration, but still, I'm hoping that another Yumako figure will come out in the future. I'm feeling more excited with Mary's Methos figure coming out. However, there's been a lot of discussion about this, and the thoughts are generally that there won't be a Yumako partner with her. But fingers crossed, and I'll keep my hopes up for that, because that would just, if Methos did a figure of her, my gosh, that would be an instant pre-order. She would be phenomenal as well, because they did such a good job on the Mary figure, and she was an instant PO, so I'm sure Yumako would be too. And then I would be able to complete my casino theme shelf. That would be wonderful. The next figure is one that actually I saw in the market for a really good price, but I just couldn't afford it at the time. This is the Fate Saber Alter Kimono version by Kadokawa Corporation. Is it just me, or does Kadokawa Corp sound a bit like Cabbage Corp from The Legend of Avatar? Not my cabbages! So she retailed for 24,000 yen, which is roughly about $212. Now, the reason why I talk about dollars for this is because I managed to find her for $120 on Taobao, which was such a secondhand, which was such a good price, and she was in mint condition. But I couldn't even afford that at the time. That's how much I just don't have money for more figures anymore. And so I had to just let it slip by. I think she will be one that I pick up in the future. Next up, this, I think, of all the figures that I've said, is my ultimate holy grail. I adore this figure. I love the artwork for her. She just looks phenomenal. And I just think her base is beautiful. And that is Celestina Ludenburg by Methos. This figure came out a while ago, and she was a really good price. She cost £100, which was great. I think you really got a good price if you managed to buy her for that. And yeah, that was about 14,080 yen. But her aftermarket is now like £300, and I did find her for I think £300 or something like that for sale, brand new, unopened, but I can't commit £300. It was just too much. I was like, no. I do think I will eventually bite the bullet and pay the money, but I just can't at the moment. So she's on the waiting list for a future grail hunt. Next up is another Fate figure. It's Hokusai by Fat Company. She's due to be released in March 2022. And I adore this figure. I actually ordered her bikini version that's by Good Smile Company, and it's just stunning. The Good Smile Company one is significantly cheaper, but equally beautiful. I have to say, I like them both equally. What I don't like about the Fat Company one is the price tag. She's going for £230, which is like 35,200 yen. It's a big price to swallow. Like, I know she's stunning, but it's a lot of money. Do they want me to give up all my kidneys? I mean, come on. The other issue I have with this figure, which I didn't notice till I looked through quite a few images, she actually has a clear stand to help prop up some of her figure. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me, but I think for that price, they could have designed it in a way that it didn't need a clear stand. Just my personal opinion. Methos are really good actually at hiding all their structural work, and I think the same with the Cardcaptor Sakura series. I know their figures are really expensive, some of them, but you never see any structural work with those girls, and they look great. And I think that would always be my default preferences, no structural stands. Final one, it's another OMG figure. I think I have a problem, guys. I'm addicted to OMG figures. Again, this is by NetEase Games, and this is the Shiranui figure. She is due to be released in June 2022. I missed the pre-order. Well, I didn't miss the pre-order. I chose to skip the pre-order, which was about 19,800 yen, which is, I think, a fair price for this figure. That's about £130. And my reasons for skipping her is there's a grayscale figure released of this figure, the same character, and the grayscale figure looks so much better. And I really want to see the grayscale figure be painted, and to be honest, I think I'm probably going to buy that one instead because it just looks great, and I think it's going to take up a lot of detail space, and I'd rather get that one, to be honest. So for now, I'm holding my guns on this, and I'm gonna wait this one out. However, if I'm not happy with the other figure, which I think is probably highly unlikely, or maybe it won't get released, that's actually more my concern than anything, then I will be picking this one up. Anyway, guys, that's everything. These are all of my wants but can't haves, all the loves that have got away from me, and I'm sure this list will continue to grow. And I think this is part of figure collecting, that we all have things that we want, but we have to be realistic with budget. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed sitting down and having a cup of tea with me. And yeah, I'd love to hear what are your figures that got away, or maybe some figures that you think have just, you know, you couldn't make the commitment to, or maybe you picked up in the aftermarket. Maybe you think the price is too high. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and yeah, please share in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. All right, thanks everyone.